Hey everyone, welcome back to the English Everyday Podcast. I'm Dave, and today we're going to dive into something super practical, how to introduce yourself. It sounds simple, right? But if English isn't your first language, introductions can be tricky.
Hi everyone, I'm Sophia, and yes, Dave, you're so right. Introducing yourself is something we do all the time, but it's also a big part of making a great first impression. So if you've ever felt unsure about what to say or felt nervous meeting new people in English, this episode is for you.
Exactly. By the end of this episode, you'll know how to introduce yourself in a way that feels natural, friendly, and confident. You'll also learn how to sound more like a native speaker. We're going to give you specific phrases and tips you can start using today.
And we're not just going to throw a list of words at you. We'll guide you step by step, break everything down, and even practice a few examples with you.
So Marco, as our new vocabulary expert, tell our listeners why they should stick around until the end today.
Hey everyone, it's Marco here. You're going to want to stick with us because today's episode is packed with valuable tips for making introductions in English. We'll cover not only the basics, but also phrases that make you sound friendly and natural. And I'll jump in during the episode to explain any tricky words and phrases, so you're never left in the dark. By the end, you'll have all the tools to make a great first impression in English.
Perfect, Marco. Let's dive into it.
All right, let's start with the basics. A simple introduction usually has 3 parts: your name, where you're from, and something interesting about you. Sophia, could you give us a quick example?
Absolutely, Dave. Here's a simple introduction. Hi, my name is Sophia. I'm from Italy and I love art. See how that gives just a bit of information? It's friendly and it invites others to get to know me.
Exactly. So listeners, try to remember those 3 parts. First, your name. Second, where you're from. And third, something interesting about yourself.
And that last part, the interesting fact, is a great way to make your introduction memorable. You can mention a hobby, your job, or even something unique about yourself.
Absolutely. And you don't have to say much, just 1 or 2 sentences is enough. Marco, what are some simple phrases that our listeners can use for introducing themselves?
All right, here are some essential phrases that are great for introductions. Let's go through them one by one. Hi or hello. These are easy and friendly ways to greet someone. Hi is casual, while hello can sound a bit more formal, but both work well. My name is... This is how you introduce your name. You can say, my name is Marco, or just, I'm Marco. Both are simple and clear. I'm from, or I am from. Use this phrase to share where you're from, like, I'm from Brazil, or I'm from Japan. I enjoy, or I love. These phrases are great for talking about your hobbies. For example, I enjoy reading, or I love cooking. Just add an activity you like. I work as... This one is for when you want to talk about your job. You could say, I work as a teacher, or I work as an engineer. Feel free to mix and match these phrases. They'll help you sound confident and friendly. All right, back to you, Dave and Sophia.
Thanks, Marco. Those phrases are super helpful. So listeners, having those phrases in mind can make introducing yourself a lot easier.
That's right. Now that you know the phrases, let's each do a little introduction. Here's mine. Hi, I'm Sophia. I'm from Italy and I love exploring art.
That's nice, Sophia. Here's mine. Hello, I'm Dave. I'm from the US and I enjoy hiking and spending time outdoors. You see? Just a few words, but it says a lot.
Exactly. And remember, that last bit about your hobbies or interests can be a fun way to start a conversation. Marco, do you have any advice on making introductions feel natural?
Definitely. The way you introduce yourself can change depending on where you are. Let's go over some different settings. You might be at a party, in a work meeting, or even on a video call, and each situation might need a different tone. Here are a few phrases to adjust your introduction to fit different situations. Let's take a look. I'm currently based in. This is a nice way to say where you live if you've recently moved or are in a new city. You could say, I'm currently based in New York. I'm passionate about. If you want to express an interest, this is a great phrase. For example, I'm passionate about music, or I'm passionate about travel. In my free time, This is a casual way to share what you like to do. For example, in my free time, I enjoy reading. Or, in my free time, I love cooking. I have experience in. This one is more formal, especially useful for work settings. You might say, I have experience in digital marketing, or I have experience in teaching. I'm open to meeting new people. This phrase is friendly and shows you're approachable. With these phrases, you'll sound more natural and confident no matter the setting. Let's get back to Dave and Sophia for more practice examples.
Thanks, Marco. Those tips are really useful. Listeners, remember, adjusting your language to fit the situation can make a big difference.
Yes, and it's simpler than you think. Just a small change can make your introduction feel more natural.
All right, listeners, let's have some fun. Now it's your turn to practice. Let's go through a simple introduction together.
Oh, I love that. Let's go. So let's start with, Hi, my name is ... Go ahead and say that out loud. You have 5 seconds.
Good. Now try adding where you're from. Say it out loud. I'm from ...
Great. Now, think of something interesting about yourself and add it in. Maybe you love sports, cooking, or reading. Just say, I enjoy, and fill in the blank.
Good job, everyone. And remember, you don't have to say everything perfectly. Just keep practicing, and it'll feel more natural over time.
Yes, and you can try introducing yourself to a friend or even practicing in front of a mirror. Marco, any final vocabulary tips to keep in mind?
Definitely, Sophia. Here are a few final phrases to make your introduction feel even more friendly and smooth. I'm excited to be here. This is perfect if you're in a new place or meeting a group for the first time. You could say, I'm excited to be here and meet everyone. I've been looking forward to. This is great if you're joining a new job or group. For example, I've been looking forward to working with you. I'd love to hear about. This phrase shows interest in others. For example, I'd love to hear about your hobbies, or I'd love to know more about your culture. These phrases are great ways to sound friendly and curious about others. Keep them in mind, and soon enough, introducing yourself will feel easy. Back to you, Dave and Sophia.
Thanks, Marco. These final phrases are fantastic for making introductions feel even warmer.
Absolutely, and they're easy to remember. Listeners, feel free to practice these new phrases out loud whenever you get the chance.
All right, everyone. We hope you feel more confident about introducing yourself. Remember, it's not about perfection. It's about making a connection.
Definitely true. And the more you practice, the easier it becomes. Don't hesitate to try these introductions in real life. Whether you're at a language exchange event, a social gathering, or even just meeting new classmates, these phrases will come in handy.
Yes, absolutely. And remember, everyone starts somewhere. Every time you introduce yourself, you're taking a step towards fluency. So keep pushing through any nerves or hesitations.
And let's not forget about the importance of listening. When you introduce yourself, make sure to listen to the other person's introduction as well. This not only shows respect, but also helps you to engage in conversation. You can ask follow-up questions about what they say, which is a great way to keep the conversation going.
That's a great point, Marco. Asking questions helps build connections. For instance, if someone says they enjoy hiking, you could say, Oh, I love hiking too. What's your favorite trail?
Exactly. Building on what others say makes conversations more dynamic and enjoyable.
Before we wrap up, let's quickly recap what we've covered today. We learned how to introduce ourselves with our name, where we're from, and something interesting about ourselves. We also discussed adjusting our introductions based on the situation and shared some fun phrases to make our introductions more engaging.
Right. And remember, Marco gave us some excellent vocabulary tips to help us sound more natural and friendly.
I hope you all feel more prepared for your next introduction. Just keep practicing, and soon, it'll become second nature.
So, if you enjoyed today's episode and found these tips helpful, please give us a thumbs up, subscribe, and share this episode with friends who are also learning English. It really helps us reach more listeners like you.
And we'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment and tell us about your favorite introduction phrase, or even practice introducing yourself right in the comments. It's a great way to get comfortable with new words.
And remember, every time you practice, you're building confidence. Introductions might feel a bit nerve-wracking at first, but each one brings you a step closer to fluency. So keep going and don't be afraid to make mistakes. They're part of the learning process.
Exactly, Marco. Learning English is all about making connections and having fun while doing it. So go out there, introduce yourself, meet new people, and enjoy the journey.
That's right. And if you want more tips like these, be sure to turn on that notifications. We'll keep sharing helpful, fun content to make learning English so much easier.
All right, everyone. That's a wrap for today's episode. Thank you for listening. Happy learning and keep practicing.
Bye, everyone. We'll see you in the next episode.